Hey guys, Dan with True North Motos. We are going to go over our new lighting kits for the 23 KTM Husqvarna XC, TX, SX, SXF, TC, and FC bikes. Also FX, I guess. So this is our new relayed harness. So just kind of go over this. This is a factory KTM relay, moto-minded 3D printed seal and kind of mount for the relay. You got your trigger wire for your relay with the new OBD2 connector, diagnostic connector, fuse lead to your battery, negative for your battery. This is the new seal taillight connector. And then up front you have the standard KTM unsealed headlight connector. We are going to offer, if you have a different light you want to throw on, to do a sealed connector on the front. So if that's something you want, feel free to send me an email. This is a push button switch that controls all the power to the harness, so you can see your yellow trigger wire coming up into that. This is going to live right here on the side of the mast, so we won't clutter up your bars. So this is what you'd get with just a standard harness to add lighting to the bike. You also have auxiliary power that's going to be located behind your headlight. So if you want to plug in a phone, USB charger, something like that. These bikes do have low output stator. They are not like the old TPI bikes. We've been testing them. It's around 30 watts. So kind of limited until stators come out, or you send it out for a rewind, which is probably what I'm going to end up doing with mine, so I can run a light and a fan. So that's going to be the basic kit. Now if you wanted to go dual sport kit, this is the new turn signal harness. So this is going to plug into your taillight plug on your relayed harness, and then this is your new taillight plug. That's going to give you brake light, running light, license plate light, all that. And this is the rear turn signal plug right here. This is your brake pressure switch for the rear brake pressure switch. Up front you're going to have flasher relay, your turn signals, and the turn signal switch plug. This is just like our other bikes, the older gen. This is a headlight adapter harness. So this is going to be the upper portion of your switch here. This is going to give you high-low function and also your horn. So this would plug into the front right here. This would plug into your headlight for high-low. Let's plug into your multifunction switch and your horn. I don't have a horn up here, but we will grab one when we do this install. Here is a Euro switch. We will have CEVs back in stock soon, hopefully two. But you got high-low, horn, kill, and turn signals. Flasher relay. Flasher relay is going to plug into the turn signal harness in the front to that connector. You got your brake pressure switch. That's going to plug into this longer lead off your turn signal harness to your rear brake master cylinder. We have different options for front signals. We're going to use hand shield signals. So there are those. Also these cool moto-minded 3D printed wire guides and signal protectors there. This is the rear tail light. Now I know you don't like bolting through your under fender, but basically there's no options for XCW under fenders on these new bikes, so we're going to be bolting through the rear fender to mount this. This is the True North Motos all-in-one tail light. You got running light, blinkers, license plate light, and your brake light all in one thing here. This is a rubber grommet, so when the wiring passes through the lower airbox piece, there's no chafing on the plastic or anything. It'll come on the light just like that. And then hardware, stainless steel hardware, and nylocks for bolting the rear tail light to your fender. Like I said, we'll grab a horn and show you to mount that. We're going to be installing the Cyclops Trail Boss on this one. This is 28 watts, so it's kind of towards the limit of this bike. We're going to go out and do more testing. We haven't had it drain the battery yet. We do have the Baja Designs S1s in a moto-minded mount. That should be here on the 7th of November, so Monday. And that'll be another option in the kit, and we'll have dimmers for these to give you your high-low if that's what you want to do, and do a dual sport kit on these. So jumping over to the bike, we've already disassembled and taken the plastics off. There's a separate video for that, so go check out that video if you don't know how to get the plastics off your new bike yet. If you look right here, we have pre-drilled a hole right there into your lower airbox piece. I suggest you pop this off, this mount right here, and get it out of the way so you don't nick your wires while you're drilling your hole. The hole size on that we use is 31/64. You could probably use 1/2 inch and it'd be fine with the grommet, but that was the best fit, was 31/64, so that's what we use for the drill bit here. So first things first, let's get our relayed power harness and get it kind of oriented. So this piece right here, that used to slide on a post, but these new bikes don't have it. So now this relay is going to live right here next to your battery. And you can see we've already got a zip tie ran underneath the main loom. So we're going to just put that right there. One thing, you're going to run this stuff back. So that's your trigger wire. And then you're also going to be running back your tail light wire. So before you get your zip tie done, make sure kind of run those back. So now that we got those back, we can tie in your zip tie. And we'll just leave it kind of loose for right now so we can adjust things. So we're gonna need to take your terminals off of your battery. So I will grab an 8mm and we will take these off. Okay. So I didn't do this and this was a mistake, but if you were running your dual sport harness, the turn signal harness, probably tuck that down there too to get it under your zip tie. I'm just gonna do it on top, so keep this video short, but just keep everything clean. You can tuck these down underneath and we'll route all that stuff as well. But for now, we'll just do the relayed lighting harness part. So we're gonna need a T20. We're gonna pop off this wire guide. You don't have to come, well, that came all the way out a little bit, but don't have to come quite all the way out. It's just a press like that. Okay. Now we're gonna run your forward connectors along your main loom. So try to keep them tight, because remember your brake line does go down through here. Oh, I got my switch on there. Let's take that off. Make it easier on ourselves. Because remember your fuel line's gonna come down here too. And the new tank design sits in this pocket for the fuel pump. So we're gonna try to keep everything kind of tight on the left side of the harness. So then we're gonna run up along this whole harness all the way. We'll use some zip ties and make this clean once we get up here. This is gonna go behind. Up like so. All right, So now we'll pop your wire guide back in. Got that ran up there. And we will get this T20 tightened back down. And see how the wire is free to move in there. Keep your slack. We'll go along and kind of secure that. Now back here, I'm going to take off your diagnostic plug. We're going to wrap this guy under the ECU and back around there. So to pop off your ECU, just pull up these rubber tabs. Like so. We'll route that guy down underneath. Plug it in. That'll just live right in this little pocket right there. Okay, now this is your taillight plug if you decide to run a taillight on this bike. And this guy can just, it's gonna snap right in here. Like so. All right, so coming back up to the front, gonna follow this routing all the way around here. These two are your switch connectors. This is your relayed power. So I'm just gonna run this up and underneath. Leave those right there. We'll get your headlight plug underneath as well, like so. And we'll secure that right there in your wiring tray. So now I'm gonna grab some zip ties and we'll kind of clean up. So I'm gonna start back here. Run a zip tie. I'll use a little bit longer one. Down and around your main loom. Remember, just try to leave all your zip ties kind of loose till you get everything where you want it to be. Go down here. That's a little bit bigger than I want to use. Sorry, grab some different sizes. Let's use some smaller zip ties here. Okay. And same thing, we'll give this a little corner down here. Still kind of keeping things loose. So once we tighten all these up, we'll have a nice factory routing on all this stuff. And then we'll go behind your headlight mask. We'll put one right along these guys. All right, I'll probably do one just right there too. You can see there's plenty of slack in the new harnesses, and their new routing is much better than the old style. So now that we have all that ran, we'll just go ahead and kind of cinch up our zip ties all the way back. All right, so this guy, you can just kind of loop around. So we left this long for a reason. One, you can just bring it right back to here with your ground, but also the frame ground on the KTM is down here. So if you wanted to sneak this guy down and put your ground right there on the frame, you can do either one. I'm gonna just go to the battery for right now, but we wanted to give you that option. Before you put your ground on though, we're gonna sneak this fuse around, and this fuse is just gonna live right here where you can easily access it, just like so. So we'll grab a Phillips. And get these started. Make sure I'm catching there, I am. You can put a little slit in there if you want to get that boot over. And then the ground will just go like so. Okay. So that's your standard harness. That's your lighting harness right there. You can just not run a tail light, button this thing back up, plug in your headlight. As you can tell, headlight just easily plugs right in right there. You can route your wire, and this thing fits nicely on the new style fender, like it's meant to be there. So if all you're doing is adding a headlight to this bike, you're done. You can reassemble your plastics and you're good to go.